Get in. Oh, good morning, you guys. I'm trying to get my dog back in. Get in. Come on. Get. Oh, he's not going. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Happy Crappy Hour. Get in here. I opened the door. Come on. Yeah, come on. He's a skittish one. Holy schmoly. Come here. Come here. I know. You want to stay out with me. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, it was supposed to be a little smoother beginning than that, but good morning, everybody. Welcome to Happy Crappy Hour and how to escape from Crazytown, because we want to escape Crazytown. Remember that, right? Yeah, today's topic is the new supply a narcissist also? And if they are a narcissist, what the heck, right? What's really going on inside of that relationship? When I thought about this, I know it sounds kind of cruel, but I was like, it just makes me laugh. I don't know. I just burst out laughing because it's so crazy. It's so much crazy town. You cannot even comprehend how, yeah. If you ever see a fight between two narcissists, it's just incredible. You just don't even know. There's no way to bring it down because they're both so egocentric that they have to win. Anyway, we are going to talk about that today. But first, let's talk about happies and crappies. And man, let me see. You guys are coming on. Hey, good morning, Water Grove, and good morning, Obi and John. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Yeah, flying monkeys. That's the thing. Someone already brought up kind of the new supply does act sort of like a narcissist because they're one of the flying monkeys and they do the narcissist bidding. They believe everything the narcissist is saying, so they think it's absolutely okay for them to treat you badly. So they may try to spread the smear campaign on you, and they may also treat you badly because the narcissist is trying to make you out to be the monster. So they go along and they just, anyway, but it's not even that they get deceived and they become like the narcissist. What if the new supply is a narcissist themselves? And I'm telling you, that crazy town is beyond, I don't, sorry. It just makes me laugh because I think I'm so glad I'm not in there. I am so glad I am away from that. And it makes me, feel good actually about being away from that and not having to deal with these people anymore in my life. Oh my gosh. So you guys, so let's talk a little bit about happies and crappies this week. This week actually has been pretty good. I'm trying to think if there were any crappies other than the morning of the last happy crappy hour when everything was going wrong. This morning things are going pretty well, so that's good. Yeah, wind is picking up, so we'll see. Hopefully things don't start blowing away and it holds off for an hour. But my happies was that we had some people come in over the weekend for graduations and stuff, and we had such a good time. It was so nice, and it was not a lot of people, just like I think there were maybe 6 of us total. I'm trying to think if there was more. Yeah, I think there was 6 and another person dropped in, so 7. But it was great. I forgot what it's like to socialize. I forgot what it's like to sit across the table from another person. I'm here with my husband and we do that, but it's neat when you have a group of people. So I would definitely encourage you guys to try to get together with others and just enjoy your time together. Well, you guys, let me see what you are saying here. Hopefully the glare is not great on my computer, so let me see if I can change that. Nope. All right. Yeah, Obi says, what is it with these clowns? I know, right? Exactly. I'm telling you, I was just in the kitchen talking to my husband. He was getting some coffee and I was coming out here and I said, I don't know, every time I think about these narcissists, I just crack up because the things they do, it just like blows your mind. You know, you just can't even understand their logic. And then on top of that, they make life interesting, right? Just the drama that surrounds them and the drama they create. You just, the best way to be around a narcissist is as an observer. Oh my gosh, you learn a lot about how not to be, but you just watch incredulously as they nosedive into the ground. You're just like, are you kidding me? How can somebody be that blind, right? But it gets worse when they get together with other narcissists, and the two of them have no clue how badly they look, right? They have no clue how bad they look. And they just blow up right in front of you. They think they're fooling you. They think they're putting on a very convincing act. And I'll tell you, there are times maybe at the beginning of their relationship, it looks very convincing, and even they could hold up an image for quite a long time. But you all also almost immediately see the explosions. It's just crazy. But I will get into some details about that. Watergrow says they are just another level of selfish, still destroyable though. Ha. It really is super nuts. Keating Simons, good to see you. Says, I like how the background moves ever so slightly. That's how you know that this is live, you guys. Yeah, Broderick says, it's funny when you see a narc in action. It really is. You don't want to see them when they're full out raging and hurting someone. That I've seen also, and that's just horrid. And you have to try to diffuse that or get the other person out of there, like in a pleasant way, where the narcissist doesn't escalate, but just kind of fizzles out. But yeah, but there are other times where they're happy and you see them so arrogant and so weird. And okay, I'm going to start into the relationship with when your ex is a narcissist, discards you, but then hooks up with most likely a covert narcissist. And I'm telling you, the covert narcissists are the most dangerous because they are so stealthy. They come off they are also known as a vulnerable narcissist, and it fits them. That term fits them because the covert narcissist that had been in my life, she was in my life for 10 years and just barely flying below the radar of narcissism because she was vulnerable. I mean, she talked about stuff, about her divorce, about her ex-husband, about, and she was willing to show weakness, I guess, if you would say that. She was, to talk about what she, how badly she feels or how depressed she was or, how upsetting it was to her. So you think, wow, narcissists don't share their feelings. They're not, open about things like this or truthful, right? Or honest or vulnerable. But the covert narcissist is. The thing, though, is they do give you glimpses, right? They do give you glimpses of their true narcissistic nature. And I kind of dismissed that. I just kind of thought, well, she's kind of quirky and maybe that's why, or, people are just different and have different likes. And so I just thought that's just the way she is. And maybe I didn't like those aspects of her character. For instance, she was very materialistic. Very materialistic. I've talked about this before. Like while she was on welfare, she was talking about wanting to buy like the top of the line BMW. And I was like, are you kidding me? This, you want to buy $100,000 BMW and you're on welfare. Do they have no concept of reality. They think like, why not? Why shouldn't I have that? I can make it up with my welfare checks. I might be able to do these payments. I'm like, what the heck? So I just thought, okay, maybe she's just kind of kidding, right? Like this is kind of a pipe dream. But pretty much the whole time I've known her, she was materialistic, to the point where she spread it to her children. She was very very upset if their clothes, down to the socks, like if their socks were not matching their shirt. I'm like, really? Who the heck cares if a 10-year-old socks match their shirts? We do not, like her kids do not go to private school. They're not amongst millionaires' kids. They're just with other average kids. And I'm like, who cares, right? But she did a number on her kids, sadly enough, and they all have come out just as materialistic as she is. And hopefully they have a more sense of reality and will learn that that's not rewarding. I'm hoping for that for them. But like I was saying, the covert narcissist catches big time the big narcissist, because the narcissist wants to be the hero, right? The overt narcissist wants to be a hero. So when a covert narcissist plays the role of victim and, you're my hero and you're the only one I can rely on, everybody else has abandoned me, the narcissist feels, first of all, like they're the hero. Second of all, like, wow, I don't even have to isolate this person because I'm the only one who's there for them. So half their work is done, holy cow, you guys. So that's the beginning. The hooking, right? How they hook your narcissistic ex. Your narcissistic ex is thinking, oh, this is such a sweet and kind and compassionate person who, I've never heard people talk about their feelings so deeply and are so vulnerable. This person is so vulnerable with me. And they feel like, oh, I'm getting to know them so deeply. Like I didn't get to know you, right? Your ex getting to know you doesn't think that you were as vulnerable. And I'll tell you what, narcissists are very connected to their passionate side. They're super connected to that. So that's really appealing to another narcissist. They see this passion coming out of the vulnerable narcissist and even another overt narcissist, and it draws them in. Especially, not passion as in anger, but passion as in the excitement they have for life, or the pain, the deep pain they feel, or they say they feel, right? But anyway, let me see how you guys are doing here. Keating says they are every villain in every cartoon, starting with Wile E. Coyote and his Acme schemes. Yeah, that's a funny way of looking at it too. They are a cartoon, like you watch them set up these traps. I don't know if you remember. I'm trying to think. It was a long time ago. I don't know if you guys remember Rocky and Bullwinkle or cartoons way back about that time. Where the villain was like, always wears this black cape and has this long black mustache and is like lurking around the corner, is trying to capture somebody. But it's just absurd. Yeah, Watergrove, I like what she's saying here. He says, at the time in the deep of the abuse, you sit in ashes, but when you come out of it, you realize that narcs are just funny. Yeah, absolutely. And you look back, you know what? Not that you're laughing at your life or you're laughing at other people's pain or anything at all like that. Not at all. But you laugh at like, this can't be real, right? You just think, nobody can actually be this way their entire life, right? Like they're just going through a phase. It must be a phase, even though you've seen it for 25 years. Maybe it's a 25-year phase. It's not a phase. Once you realize, holy cow, this is the person, and they really can't understand logic. They just don't get it. They don't understand and apply logic in their life. So nuts. Obi says, last narc that walked in my life, I played her game, told her I knew the love bombing was fake. She asked why I don't trust her, and I said, because I'm not stupid. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's part of their manipulation. They put it on you almost like to shame you or guilt you for not believing them. And that's what's happening with the your ex. And if they should hook up with another narcissist, oh, they are playing total, these games against each other. The shaming game, the guilting game. Why don't you love me more? Why don't, I love you so much and I trust you. How come you don't trust me? If you really love me, you would trust me when I go out with my friends and hook up with other people. I I'm not really cheating on you. I'm just flirting. That's all. You know, yeah. And then they shame the other person as if like, well, there's something wrong with you because you don't trust me. Oh yeah. So your ex is going through all those games exactly the same. So Obi says, my last narc was like a week ago. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Tales from the narc side. Good to see you. Says, as this happened to me, I'll be the first to say that new supply narcopath will stalk you from day one. They find out about you, contact you. When things go bad with the narc, they go back and forth with the narc. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is one of the things I wanted to talk about as well. Thanks for bringing that up, Tales. Because yeah, you have to be cautious. Like if you're a narcissistic ex, your narcissist ex hooks up with another narcissist, oh, keep your distance. Do not let them see what you're doing. Um, don't brag about how well you're doing because they will target you. And here's the thing, when two narcissists are together, they'll destroy each other if they don't have another target. If they have a common enemy, such as you, right? And they will focus on you if you blatantly show off your success and how much happier you are than they are, how much better off you are than they are, how many more trips you're going on, how much bigger your house is than theirs. If you show all of that and you're, because you're feeling hurt that you were discarded and abandoned, you want to show them like, hey, I don't need you. Don't even play that game. Do not get into that game with them. You don't need them. You don't need your ex. You're doing just great without them. And in fact, you're doing much better than your ex is doing with the narcissist. But if you should flaunt your success and how much happier you are away from them, you now will become their common enemy and their common target. So they will, instead of targeting each other and manipulating each other, will focus their energy on you, right? And their destructive nature on you. And that's when they start trying to pull together flying monkeys to watch you, to bring them information so that they can try to sabotage whatever you're doing. And whatever friends you have, they'll try to make comments, or they may even contact your friends that they see you hanging out with and tell them that, just start smearing you, start gossiping about you in front of them so that they would be turned off against you, so don't do that. The funny thing about narcissists, though, is when they don't have a common enemy, like if they're not focused on hurting somebody else, they will turn that onto each other. They'll turn on each other. So that's where you can sit back and just observe. And like I said from the beginning, the best position to be with a narcissist is just an observer. And even then, you don't need to chase them down to observe. You just keep your distance. But if you have the opportunity and that happens in front of you, it's like a huge drama that will unfold in front of you. Oh, yeah. I don't know Pink Floyd too well, but Keating says you're almost a laugh, but easily you're a cry by Pink Floyd. Pigs, 3 different ones. Oh, I'm not quite sure. Is that their album or song? Watergrove says, yeah, she's been sitting in her little red or orange car outside my church. Wow. And practicing black magic on me. Yes, right? They think that they can affect other people by sending them, by cursing them. And that's why sometimes another funny thing, and I don't know, I do think it's funny, is that they're called gypsy curses, the narcissists, right? The covert and the overt narcissist, but mostly, holy cow, the covert narcissist is a total gypsy curse. They do not leave you, and they connect to you like on an emotional level, and they try to connect to you on a spiritual level, and they actually do. Both the kinds of narcissists, they will try to connect to you so that they can control you, right? If they can get into your psyche, they will control you. They will do their best to stay there and to not let go, right? It's like a trap, but it's a gypsy curse. It stays on you. They won't leave you until somebody else comes along that they get distracted with. And that's why it comes back to, again, if your narcissist should be with another narcissist, they're going to, if they are distracted by you, they're going to focus on you. They're not going to focus on each other. They're not going to, gonna focus on being angry with each other. They're going to turn all their anger towards you. And you want to be done with that. You don't need that kind of attention. So, Tales from the narc side says, when it all fails, they want to be your friend, invite you to church, get into your life. And basically, when you see that they are your narc in female form, you go, no contact. She treated men just like the ex. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they are so needy, right? The vulnerable narcissist needs to be in a relationship. I want to say, well, no, they both need to be in a relationship immediately. But the vulnerable narc will jump from person to person to person and build multiple emotional ties to people, and getting each person, I guess it does sound just like the overt narcissist. It's just that the vulnerable narc makes themselves out to be weak, right? That's the difference between a vulnerable narc and an overt narc. The overt narcissist doesn't want to show vulnerability, and in fact, it angers them when other people think they're vulnerable. But the covert narcissist wants people to think that they're vulnerable because they want people to feel sorry for them, and that's how they manipulate people. So these narcissists come from two different directions in manipulating people. And that's why it's so funny when they get together, because they don't recognize in the other person what's going on, because they're coming at the manipulation from two different angles, right? One is more controlling and blatant and angry and forceful, while the other one is like, wishy-washy looking, or I don't know, just vulnerable, just kind of weak. And what is it? I don't know. For some reason, I get the image of, when a dog thinks a dog is afraid of you or something, they roll over and on their back and give you their belly. And I'm not saying the vulnerable narc is like that, but the vulnerable narc makes you feel like that. Like, oh, well, if they're laying on their back and showing you their belly, they're not going to attack you, right? You're thinking they must be very benign. They're very safe, right? They're not going to hurt you, but it's just a trap to get you to believe them. You know what? I want to talk about, hold on, you guys. I'm pretty far back on comments here. Hold on. I don't know why I went backwards. Okay. Obi says, I thank these channels for teaching me how to swim with sharks in a small pond. Yes, exactly. Free Spirit, good to see you. Says, good day, Escape, and everybody just on for a few minutes before bed. Good to see you. I'm so glad you made it. Keating says, logic doesn't get them attention. That's why they don't use logic. It's true. Well, they're just, Yeah, it doesn't. Drama gets them attention, right? So they live in a ridiculous drama. I know. Keating Simon says everyone has to see Dirty John on Netflix. Real life narc story that says it all. Oh my gosh, you guys. Yeah, I just saw. I did not watch the Netflix series on Dirty John. I watched some other documentary that was, I want to say it was probably like 2 hours long. You probably can find it on YouTube somewhere. That's where I had watched it about, I want to say maybe a year or more ago, what a narcissist is. And when you watch how he manipulated his wife, I'm sorry, yeah, she did marry him. Um, he moved into, he was homeless. She had no idea he was homeless, or maybe she kind of did, but she thought he was in between places. He came out of jail, and right away, within, I think, that week or a couple of days, he met this woman, gets pretty much moved into her place within a week, and starts demanding that she not talk to her daughters. She has two daughters, right? But she secretly meets with them. And one daughter in particular, I guess, or no, both of them really hated him, and they saw that he was manipulating their mom. But oh, and it's, you watch this, and it is incredible. He insisted, I think, in having cameras put in the house to the point where he would try to control his wife by watching her and criticizing what she's doing and not doing. It's just, if you watch Dirty John, he is a total narcissist. Well, psychopath. He was a total psychopath, and narcissists are that. You think for a while like he went along and he wasn't murderous, right? But he was very narcissistic, and he manipulated people, used people, and yet the question I've always had is, at what point makes them tip right into violence? You don't know. You don't know what will tip them into that, but they're capable of it. They are very capable of it. So that's why you don't want to play with that. You don't want to play with fire. You don't want to stick around. You don't want to insert yourself and make a big scene, right? To let them know you're doing much better than they are. Because if you do that, you become their target, and they will they'll become obsessed with you. So be very careful. Do not draw attention to yourself by putting on a show in front of the narcissist, all right? It's not worth it. Yeah. Yep, Keating says success is the best revenge. Yep. Tales from the narc side says, even the people she dates contact me to tell me stories. It just never ends after you go no contact, and she will contact them. Let me see. There's name calling because they like and comment on Facebook posts of mine. She will never stop. Wow. You might want to block her. Yeah, it's incredible. Incredible. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. I want to make sure that I'm somewhat caught up with comments. Yeah. Keating says, good info on covert. It is so true. Interesting. Oh goodness, yeah, this is true. I'm not gonna read some of this. You guys will have to come on and read it. Because I want to be funded. Like, I want these videos to be funded. The slightest things I say on these videos, I tell you guys, they limit my funding, or they tell me I'm not going to get any funding. I'm like, seriously, this video compared to all the other stuff that's out there? But okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. So I wanted to tell you guys about the vulnerable narcissist and her, oh my gosh, the other narcissists that get caught up with her. It's total crazy town. I'll tell you what, they have a continual, this is what goes on between the two of them. And I have a list of a few things that they throw at each other, right? And I want to go through that list with you guys. The fact is that if they're both narcissists, There's endless crazy making. When they play the game of gaslighting, yes, they gaslight each other. That's so hilarious to me. They try to make the other person think they're crazy, right? So the narcissist is getting their own medicine. That is what's hilarious to me. So the big time narcissist, right? Might have been your ex, but maybe your ex was the covert narcissist. Doesn't matter. Both of them will gaslight you. Both of them will make you think you are going crazy, because remember, they have no logic. Their logic is circular and makes no sense. It doesn't ever stop. They will blame you for something that you did not do, but convince you that you did do it. And even if you didn't do it, it's the fact that they thought you did it, or that you could have done this, and they felt like you're capable of doing this, and it hurts them. So that's like, you're capable of cheating on them, right? Okay, let's just use that example. They will act as if, okay, I'll give you, oh my gosh. They will act as if, I have all these other examples popping up in my head. That's why I'm kind of like, oh, I'm trying to stop myself from jumping from thing to thing. They will blame you for cheating on them, even though you did not. But then they'll say, well, you flirting with somebody, right, constitutes cheating. So they will hang on that and try to convince you that you flirting with somebody else was cheating. And here's the deal. You weren't even flirting, right? You were just being nice. So you were being nice to the waiter or waitress, right? And you were being pleasant, and you smiled, and the waiter or waitress was making conversation with you. So of course you're yourself. You're a good person. You're fun to be with. You're pleasant. So you have a little chit chat, or, back and forth with a waiter or waitress. They will say that's cheating on them, and how that was completely disrespectful of them, right? How disrespectful you were towards them. You will go home, not you, I'm sorry, your ex will go home with this narcissist, and it will be a 5-hour fight about how your ex was, and your ex probably was flirting, by the way. But the other narcissist will try to convince your ex that flirting in itself was full-on cheating, just as bad as if your ex had slept with a waiter or waitress. And that is the crazy making that is going on in their life. And then, of course, your ex is not going to give in to that. Your ex is going to point out something else about their new supply, that then they're going to say, but no, when you did that, when you were flirting with this other person, you were then cheating, right? So they're using their crazy logic. It's not logic, right? But they're using their crazy thinking on each other, their crazy definitions on each other. They redefine what reality is, but they apply it to the other person and not themselves. That's what's happening. I'm trying to remember if there was an example. Okay. I have the other example I was thinking of is when somebody has a dream that their partner is cheating on them, and then they wake up and then they're mad at their partner. Like, I dreamt that you cheated on me. So then they're just grumpy and mad at their husband or wife all day long. It's like, what the heck? How are you lying? What happened in your dream to me in real life all day long? Like, that's what it is to be with a narcissist. Oh my gosh, so crazy. And they hold their partner to this. That's one of the manipulations and one of the total Crazytown adventures, if you will, that goes on with the two narcissists. They try to gaslight each other. They redefine what their values are, I guess, what terms, what the limits of cheating are with each other. Like I was just explaining to you guys about the cheating, but they'll redefine other things too, like what being disrespectful is, right? They'll say, oh, when you were late, you were disrespecting me. It's like, well, you were also always late. Like, how come only when I'm late, I'm being disrespectful. But when you're late, that's not disrespectful. And they'll explain, well, because when I'm late, I couldn't help it. It's like, yeah, well, I couldn't help it either. And then, of course, total crazy town just gets unleashed. And they they do this to each other. They pick and pick and pick. That's what's happening between two narcissists. So you want to stay out of the line of fire, because if you can imagine these two like just engaged in this total crazy making, right? Gaslighting each other. And then you walk by and or drive by and you have this beautiful Mercedes or whatever, Audi or whatever, car you like. You drive by in this nice car, much nicer than theirs. They're going to be like, what the heck? Who does who does that person think she or he is? They're looking at you going, oh yeah, you think you're better than us? And now suddenly they're not doing the gaslighting with each other. You've distracted them. Now they're going to start looking at you and trying to figure out how can they hurt you, because narcissists are very, very jealous people. So be careful of that. Don't draw attention to yourself around them, because you want them to just focus on each other. You want that gypsy curse to stay, the two gypsy curses to stay focused on each other. You don't want them like spewing curses on others and on you. Here's another thing. There are 3 or 4 other things I want to tell you that they do to each other. But before I do that, I want to see what I'm missing here. Oh, I don't know where I am. So if I missed your comments, I'm really sorry about that. Oh, and let me change this to live chat rather than talk chat, because sometimes I don't see comments and people coming on and I'm like, oh, when did you come on? I didn't see this. Oh, Obi-Wan, you're terrible. Let me see. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry, guys. Let me go down a bit. Insane. Hey, let me ask you guys, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe, and also encourage others to subscribe. If you would also watch a commercial once in a while, that would be really helpful, because if no commercials are watched, no, I would get absolutely nothing. And I never want to ask you guys to pay for any of this, because I want to just be able to help you. But this is a really great format to be able to do this, and we can help each other without it hurting either one of us, or without making sacrifices, right? Or big sacrifices anyway. And let me see. I wonder if narcs realize that they are in bed with a flying monkey, though. Like, if they are a narc, because my imagination cracks me up, right? Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Keating says they use your security system to spy on you. Yep, they absolutely do. So be very careful of that. Oh my gosh. Free Spirit says, yeah, I found bugging devices after I kicked my ex out. Yeah. And that's the thing. That's part of the crazy making. They will tell you stuff that you're like, how do they know this? Well, guess what? They've been spying on you, right? Yeah. Yep. Keating says, my ex has broken into my PC and changed the background 9 times in the last year and a half. Keating says, when she spies on my computer, I go watch narc videos. She can watch too. Oh my gosh, you guys are cracking me up. Yeah. Tales from the narc side says, they certainly get a taste of their poison, but it doesn't change them. No, it doesn't. That's the thing. They don't realize that they are inside of the crazy making of their narcissistic new supply, because they don't know. That's the thing. Narcissists are not aware that the person they're with is another narcissist. That's the hilarious part. They might at some point later on accuse their new supply or each other of being narcissists, right? But they are being played far more than they realize. Yeah. Keating says projection. Yep. Yeah. Hold on, you guys. Let me see. Water Grove says, Narc called me twice since Sunday, just sitting here listening to me say hello and hangs up. What the heck? They just sit there and say nothing. Yeah. Well, they're checking up on you, you know. They have emotional issues, but and they're also very cowardly. They're not going to insert themselves unless they know um, they're they're going to be able to manipulate you, but they want to be able to check up on you. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Keeney says, why wouldn't they recognize their own kind? Because they think they're the smartest person in the room. They think there's no way this other person can be smarter than me, so they can't be my match, right? They cannot match your narcissist, whoever the new supply is. So the narcissist thinks they are in control. The other person is not in control. The narcissist thinks that I cannot be played because I'm too smart to be fooled, right? I'm too smart to be manipulated. Whatever I do is that is from a position of control. That's the way they see it. They have no clue when another narcissist is manipulating them, and especially when a covert narcissist is manipulating them, because they fall for it. They fall for the act, right? It's all dramatized. They fall for the act. And I was thinking about this couple I knew. Oh my gosh, he was an overt narcissist, and she was a covert narcissist. And he actually was led to believe that he's the only one that had stood by her, right? They'd only known each other. I mean, they'd known of each other. They were acquaintances, I guess, for a long time because his wife was friends with her. But they had gotten romantically involved, and he believed in the short time that they were romantically involved that he is the only one who could be loyal to her, right? She put him on this pedestal as if he has this huge effect on her, the outcome of her life, right? The outcome of her happiness. He is in control of that. And of course, to an overt narcissist, they think, oh, yes, I am the number one person in her or his life, right? So he was thrilled about that, being the number one in her life. And her making him feel like this big, strong hero in her life. So, of course, he had no idea that he's being manipulated into thinking that he has the power to hurt her. So he's not going to, right? This is what she's telling. This is how the covert narcissist works. Like, everybody in my life has hurt me, and you're the only one that I can trust. And when they put that such a huge responsibility on somebody, even on a narcissist, for a time, that narcissist will play along because they actually think they have power. When they realize they don't have power, they're gone. I'll tell you that. They are out of there, and they will fight back. They don't care how vulnerable the vulnerable narcissist had been with them. But by that time, they're both in attack mode. So the vulnerable narcissist, this is what will confuse the other narcissist. The vulnerable narcissist will go from this wounded animal that's no threat at all, to suddenly this raging, crazy psychopath, that's yelling at them for 3 hours or 5 hours and into like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and they're like, what the heck happened here? But then they fall for each other. They fall for the apologies. They fall for the great makeup, that happens afterwards. They both will fall for that and think, okay, I'm back in control. I'm back in control of the other person, and this is good. That's why when watching from the outside, you see this. When you're watching from the outside, you see what's going on, and you just shake your head like, wow, do neither of them see this total craziness? No, they don't, because they both believe that they are the one in control, right? Okay. And they both believe that they're the smartest one in the relationship. And they both believe that the other one, they both believe that they cannot be manipulated because they're just too smart. They're too street smart. They're too wise. They're too observant, right? Yeah. And they can't admit failure. That's the other thing. They fell for each other. They cannot admit that they failed to see that the other person was a nut job when they fell for them. All right, you guys, let me go on with this list. So there's another thing. They have to have continual validation. That's also going on inside of their relationship. Yeah. So the narcissist, both narcissists, vulnerable and the other one, they both need to be validated continually. Now, it seems like the vulnerable narcissist doesn't need to be validated, but it's like a stealthy way. Like if they'll say, oh no, that's okay. You don't have to buy me gifts. You don't have to take me out to dinner. I just love being around you. But if you don't do it, they're going to be like, what the heck? How come you didn't do this? And, you know, you don't show like you love me. Your actions speak louder than words. And it's like, well, my actions were, you know, following what you were saying. You didn't want to go out. You didn't want this gift. You didn't want whatever. And then they get mad because you did not validate them. That's what's going on with your narcissist and their new supply. But at the same time, you know, they're doing this to each other constantly. They need constant validation. And when the other person doesn't validate them enough, they explode. Yeah, they just go nuts. So be aware of that. Another thing, is that they twist, and I mentioned this already a little bit at the beginning, they will twist each other's words and meanings, right? To get into, like, for some reason, narcissists have to always have drama, have to always be angry, right? Have to always be in a fight of some kind. They could be off on a vacation, having a great time, you know, hanging out at the beach, and yet they have to feel or take offense from the other person for anything imagined or real or imagined. And most likely it's imagined, right? If something real doesn't happen to offend them, they will imagine something offended them. Oh my gosh. And that's what I mean by twisting words. So if you walk in and, okay, let's say you're on vacation and you order an appetizer for yourself. Oh, this wind. I may have to take down an umbrella. You thinking that they're going to order one for themselves, right? But then they look at you and they're like, well, how come you didn't order one for me? You're like, what the heck? I thought you didn't want one, I guess. And I was waiting for you to order one. Or, I thought you would have told me if you wanted one, then I would have ordered it for you. And there you go. Twisted. They will twist words and the situation in order to take offense so that they can attack, right? And when two narcissists are doing that, it's incredible. Okay, you guys, I'm going to take down this umbrella. This is crazy before it totally blows away. All right. Whoops. Here we go. Maybe that'll help. Okay. Now it's going to make it harder for me to see the screen. So let me see if I can. Oh, yeah, it's easier for me to see it on my phone. Go down a bit here. There we go. Yeah, King says you can see how they put a spell on their victim. Obi says, I need a narc in my life like Jaws needs a raincoat. Yes. Yeah, Free Spirit says, oh yes, that Dirty John show is spot on. There is a documentary too with the real woman. Yeah, they have the real woman and one of her daughters in the documentary. You guys should watch the documentary. I don't know what the Netflix dramatization or series is like, oh, by the way, you guys, they're going to do the next season 2 of Dirty John is going to be about Betty Broderick. And I have a video on Betty Broderick, and I have a lot of comments on that one because people, I'm sorry, but there's some crazy people that come on in the comments for these crime shows. And even my videos on the crime shows. So yeah, people defending the narcissist, right? Because they're like, oh, it's the other one that was the narcissist. You guys, both of them were narcissists, both of them. And that is my point in my video about the ultimate revenge of a narcissist, is that one was a narcissist, the other was also a narcissist. You do not, when two narcissists cross each other, they do not let up until they destroy the other one. That's what happens. And for some reason, people did not catch that. I wanted people to kind of see that without me flat, coming right out and saying it. But it's kind of, I thought, obvious that they were both narcissists, right? It was kind of obvious, but here's the deal. The one, Betty, she absolutely had a choice to move on with her life. But because she's a narcissist, they don't do that. They have to destroy the perceived person who is perceived offense, because the perceived offense, and actually he did offend her hugely, big time, but she had to perceive it to be worthy of murder. And that's total crap. That's total crap right there, where I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, but it doesn't matter. When somebody leaves, just let them go. Let them go. I mean, it wasn't like she wasn't being compensated. If I remember correctly, she was getting something like $30,000 a month. A month, you guys, $30,000 a month. And I'm like, and why do you feel like you need more than that? Like, she needed to hurt him because she felt like he hurt her. Oh, excuse me, you guys. Huh, got a sneeze there. But yeah, when they perceive an offense, it's more important to them that they attack the person who they thought offended them than to see that the other person already paid reparations, the other person already gave in, whatever, I don't know, let their lawyers fight it out. But she didn't do that. And I understand that he was a lawyer, so he knew how to protect his assets, and he probably did cheat her out of some of the money. But I'm like, come on, woman, just move on, for crying out loud. You could have moved on. Anyway, you guys, I'm not going to get any more into that, but thank you for bringing up the Dirty John stuff. Yeah, Keating says codependent. That is exactly what it becomes between two narcissists. They become codependent. Yeah. Sorry, you guys. I must be pretty far down. Oh, I don't know why, but sometimes these things go backwards. The comments do. Yeah, Obi says they need to cheat on you before you cheat on them. And can you imagine then two narcissists together? Holy cow. Yeah, they need to make sure that the other person, they don't need the other person as much as the other person needs them. And I don't know, but yeah, I was going to say that, I've heard covert narcissists are far worse than the other narcissists, right? The grandiose narcissist, but I'm not too sure, because the grandiose narcissist can be very violent, can be very cruel. And the covert narcissist, though, the thing is, for us, covert narcissists can get in and follow us around for decades, and we have to be careful of that. If you have to watch for the little signs, and maybe they're not, a full-blown narcissist, or you can't tell exactly if they are, but watch for the little signs of whether you can trust them or not. Watch whether they talk about other people all the time. Watch how they talk about other people. Watch how degrading they are with people, and then at the same time, like within a moment's notice, they can turn around and be nice to that person that they just demolished, right? With gossip. Watch for stuff like that. Also, you'll see them tell you how much they hate this person, can't stand this person, and wish all the worst things on this person, and then they're going out to lunch with that person. Just stuff like that. You're like, whoa, what the heck? Okay, if someone's behaving like that, do not let them get close into your life. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I don't know why these comments did go back again. Keep on with, oh yeah. This is better than any psychic tarot reading. Same story, different narc. Yep. Hold off, you guys. Good night, Free Spirit says, off to bed now. Have a blessed day, everybody, and stay safe. Light and love and blessings to you all. Ooh. Yeah. Misery loves comfort, says Obi. Yeah. Ah. Oh my goodness. Okay, there are a lot of comments here, you guys. So if you want to watch this and see all these comments, they're pretty interesting. Yeah. Water grower says, that man has plenty and ain't my problem. I guess if other supply, calling other women and sitting there is something I don't have to deal with. Yeah, insecurity wise. Fake book. Yeah, it is fake book. Water grower says, yes, escape. Let them leave and watch them lurk. Yeah, you don't ever want to keep a narc from leaving. Just let them leave. The whole Betty Broderick thing. But here's the deal. Narcissists will not let another narcissist leave them. It will not end painlessly. It's going to have to be a very painful parting. Sorry. Oh, geez. Okay. Keating. Yeah, total crime story, right? It really is. It's very sad. You got to watch out for that because you don't want to play with narcissists. You really want to just leave them to their own, okay? You don't want to get into the mix. And the best scenario is when narcissists are with other narcissists because you don't have to deal with them. Oh my gosh, you guys, except for they will pull in other people. And that's the hard thing is, got to be careful of that. Okay, you guys, there are a couple more things I want to say before we leave here. Okay, so another thing that the two narcissists will do with each other, that they did with you, okay, but now they're doing it to each other, is the constant score keeping. Yeah, so they keep score on everything, right? They keep score on how much they do for you, right, for each other. And then they also keep score on every infraction that was ever done to them or every offense that they ever have felt from you. So imagine them doing this to each other. Every time they have a fight, the both of them bring out their diaries, the both of them bring out their ledgers and point out all the times they did something for the other one, but also point out all the times the other one had hurt them. They don't bring out the times that they hurt the other one, right? No, they are perfect. They're angelic. They do everything right. And the other person just misunderstands what their motives were. They manipulate each other completely and they keep this score. And that's the hilarious thing, I think, between the two narcs, because I think it surprises the other one when all the scorekeeping comes out and then the new supply comes at them with this list of infractions of offenses, right? And your narcissist is going to be like, what? They're not going to be prepared for that because they didn't realize, well, they may not be prepared for it, but they still have a tactic to respond to it. And that tactic is to attack, right? To attack the character, to invalidate the other person, to twist their words, to shame them, to guilt them. Yeah, it's just absolutely nuts. So that's what happens with scorekeeping. They will continue to bring out the, past records of each other, of course, the worst, but never the best. The last thing, or I don't know if this is the last thing, but this is one of the last things I do want to talk about. It's the last thing on this list, but there are so many other things going on. Oh, that I want to talk about. Another thing that they use or in their relationship against each other is the constant guilt trips. Yeah, it's just going to be constant guilt trips, because whether they're the grandiose narcissist or they're the vulnerable covert narcissist, they both use guilt trips, right? They're going to try to shame the other one or guilt the other one into action, right? Or even like tug at their narcissistic pride. They'll say things like, oh, so-and-so is driving a much nicer car than we are. And so now your narcissist is going to feel like, well, I got to one up that man. I got to compete with that. I got to get a better car. Or, get themselves further into debt in order to do that. That's how they manipulate each other and they play on each other's pride. You guys, they will play on each other's ego. Oh my gosh. So it's not just guilt trips. It's, all the emotions. They will use shame. They will use guilt. They will use jealousy to manipulate each other. And they'll tell each other things like, well, I got hit on by 3 guys today, or the guy in the relationship might say, I got hit on by 4 women. Oh yeah, well, your 3 guys, whatever, my 4 women. It's like they're in constant competition with each other. So I want to let you know, you are not missing anything. When you see your ex with the new supply, the most hilarious situation would be if the new supply is also a narcissist. Most likely they're just a flying monkey, or they're just another fan club member. But now and again, and I think more and more, the narcissists are catching each other. They're hooking each other and trapping each other. So to me, it's like karma come true, karma working without you having to do anything. That's the beauty of all of this, when you can sit back and let the 2 narcissists go at each other. Now, the thing with Betty Broderick and her husband, it was horrible. It was tragic, because their kids, are affected by that. And narcissists don't care. They don't care that they hurt their kids in the meantime. So that's another thing you got to be so grateful for, if you are able to get away and out of Crazytown, because you don't want to be in the line of fire ever, or the target or the focus, right, of a narcissist, because they will hurt themselves trying to hurt you. There's nothing that's sacred to them. There's nothing that they won't trample in order to hurt their target. So that absolutely happened with Betty Broderick, which is, she was, never occurred to her like what her kids go through, having, knowing that what she did to their father, right? Knowing the life that she took away from them, knowing that they couldn't, their life was not just obstructed or thwarted and gone off the rails, but their life just became a nightmare. And she, you never hear her say how badly she feels about that. Like, you never hear her talk about how much her heart hurts what her children had gone through because of her and because of her husband, right? You never hear that. The only thing you hear is that she's so vengeful against her husband still, and she wants everybody to know how much she was hurt. That's it. It never occurs to a narcissist that they hurt other people. So when you have two narcissists together, they will never acknowledge that they hurt the other person. What they will acknowledge is how the other person hurt them. And that's when two people are coming into a relationship with that focus, that selfishness, there's no way there's going to be peace. There's no way there's going to be success. There's just total crazy town. All right, you guys, let me see. Keating says quarantine equals compression of free. What are KAOS? I don't know what that is. I'm not quite sure what this means, Watergrove, but I understand the second part. It says, I'm driving a vessel of destruction, LOL. I'm not quite sure what that you mean by that. And I'm going to fill it up when I go back home. They cannot top my achievements. It takes a different type of brain to top this. Oh, jeez. Obi says, I feel blessed during this quarantine. And you know what? It's true. It's like you don't have to deal with the crazies out there now. I live far away, he says. Yeah. Keating says, love that they are glued to each other. Chaos. Yeah, Obi says, I know stuff got broke around their house. Yeah, that's the total craziness that's going on with two narcissists. They do not, and their battles are epic. Epic, you guys. So I cannot even imagine, okay, think of this scenario. Here's your narcissistic ex, thinking they're getting some kind of wilted flower, right? This beautiful wilted flower, who is not a threat at all, right? Who's weak, vulnerable, yet hot, right? That's a big thing for them. They go home with this. They even marry this possibly, right? And then come to find out this person is total crazy town, right? Goes total crazy town on them. And their world is being shaken left and right, and they're being challenged left and right, and they're being devalued. Oh, that's another thing they do to each other. They will devalue each other. So your narcissist is going through, your narcissistic ex is going through this devaluation stage where they psycho back and forth, twisting of words, constant offense, right? They're always offended. And your narcissistic ex is just like, what the heck is happening here? But at the same time, your narcissistic ex is like, no, you're not going to try to control me. There's no way. So they will strike back. They will not bow down to this. They will not acquiesce or fold, right? They just won't. And it goes into this full-blown crazy town fight. So, and here's the thing. You might not see any of this. Obi, you say things broke. So you may get hints, right? You may get hints like it's not all paradise over there. But you may not see the total epic battle, right? You most likely will not. I want to say, like, there's probably no chance at all you're going to see it. But know that it's happening. Even if when you do see them, they look like they're having a great time together. Because let me tell you, they have to do that. And the reason they have to do that, they have to put on a show. Because they, if they're both narcissists, and the covert narcissist that I know is totally materialistic, she needs to make sure that everybody knows that she is doing well materialistically, right? Even if she's going into debt and making the other narcissist go into huge debt in order to make her look like she's doing very well financially. They both need to know, or they both believe actually, that they are the most attractive couple. They both believe that they're the most happy, of course, right? There's nobody else who could be as good as they are, as happy as they are, as well matched as they are, because they're each other's soulmates, remember, right? No, they should write a book. This is how they feel. Oh my gosh, this cracks me up, because the vulnerable narcissist I know wanted to write a book, and I'm sure she still does. She thinks like she has so much wisdom to share with people. So they think that they have relationship, their relationship, so they have relationship nirvana, right? They've reached the apex of relationship. They should write a book and tell people how to have relationships. Oh my gosh, they are so full of themselves. So on the outside, it might look like, well, they're driving a new car, they just bought a big house, they're going on vacations, they go out to dinner, and when they're out to dinner, it looks like they're having a good time. But guess what? On the ride home from dinner, when there is no audience, they're fighting. They're fighting over the fact that she smiled at the waiter. They're fighting over the fact that he didn't order a second glass of wine, when he ordered his. They're fighting over all the offenses that they caught the other one in, right? And made up offenses, obviously, right, of each other. So that's what's really going on when you have two narcissists. When there's just one narcissist, the narcissist will be the only one pulling this manipulation, and then you or the other, the person who's not a narcissist, their partner, who, if they are not a narcissist, will give in, and it won't be a full-on two-sided battle, right? It would just be the narcissist getting angry, getting upset, and then they get validated, and the partner will just say, oh, I'm so sorry, and then that's it, right? Not totally, obviously, because the narcissist will drag it on for a while, but it won't become this epic fight like it does if they were both narcissists. Oh my gosh, you guys. So they need an audience. When they don't have an audience, and when they don't have a distraction, like another target, then they focus on each other. And it's really horrid. Let me see. I did say that I did think about whether, like, what's going on with your narcissistic ex, right? Why are they sticking around for this then? You wonder, why in the world are they sticking around? Because someone said it earlier, they have each other in a spell. They have used the narcissist manipulation on each other, and they're not smarter, right? They definitely are not smarter, or as smart as they think they are. They're not smarter than maybe one is smarter than the other one, but they're not as smart as they think they are, neither of them. So they definitely fall for the spell. They fall for the manipulation. They fall for the love bombing that they each had done to each other. And when they have these epic battles, there'll be that great make-up physical, apology at the end. And that keeps them there for a while. Or there might be this great big financial present, right, that they give the other person to keep them hooked. If what drives the narcissist is materialism and not the physical side, that's what they'll get. They'll get the, jewelry, or they get a car, or they get their own credit card with whatever $5,000 limit or whatever it is. They will be given a gift, and that keeps them there. Yeah. Oh yeah, I want to tell you one last scenario, and our hour and a half is almost up. So I'm going to give you guys some time to finish up some of your conversations. Oh, Lacey Watergrove says, my ex will keep setting her up too. I think he actually hates her, but that's on him, not her. He stays there and builds with all of them, all the other wives, 6 of them. Oh yeah, exactly. Keating says, I need a monogamous, empathic woman that loves Jesus. And there are some out there. Wow. Oh, Keating says, Joyce Myers talked about same thing, fighting in the car to church, and fighting in the car back from church. Yeah, but at their church, they're all like hugging and kissing, and they look like they're happy. And it's not just church, it's out. Whenever they go out and they have an audience, they have to put on a show. Well, you guys, the last scenario I wanted to share with you before we go is that the covert narcissist will insult the overt narcissist, right? And yet still play the victim and expect the overt narcissist to apologize the grandiose narcissist. They expect the grandiose narcissist to apologize, cave, and admit that what they did was somehow far worse than what the covert narcissist did, whether it's cheating, lying, overspending, getting themselves into debt, right? They will insult the, okay, let me give you an example. The covert narcissist will tell the grandiose narcissist that they're not as good looking as this waiter, maybe. Okay, I'm just going to use a waiter, but somebody else, maybe it's a friend. Okay, he's not as good looking as his friend who comes over and obviously is attracted to her. So, you know, it's not her fault that she's turned on by that. It's not her fault that she likes his friend, because his friend is hot, his friend is attentive to her, his friend works out, but he doesn't, right? He's older than his friend, and so he's not as good looking or as youthful or as fit. So she's putting him down, and at the same time, it's his fault that she's not attracted to him, right? Because of all these reasons. So he needs to apologize to her for making her feel like she needs this, like she needs this from somebody else. I don't know if you follow this, right? This is total crazy town. This is my ex-friend who's the covert narcissist. That is how they think. You know, she will put down her current partner to make them feel like nothing but crap, right? Even the narcissist that she's with. And I don't think they're together anymore. I'd be really surprised. But in a way, I kind of hope they are together. Like, yeah, why not? Let them stay together, because then less damage will be done to other people. But yeah, you know, she will put him down because he's not that attractive. He thinks he's attractive. That's the other hilarious thing. He thinks he's really hot. Of course, because he's a narcissist. He's the grandiose narcissist. He thinks he's a total catch and totally hot. She knows that he is not. Like, she knows he makes money. So to her, that's very attractive. But physically, no, he's not attractive. He's old, he's balding, he's not taking that well, by the way. I think, like, balding men, just shave your head. You look so much better when it's shaved. You know, don't hold on to the last few wisps of hair. Let it go, you know, let it go. When it's very obvious that you're, you know, you have the male pattern baldness or whatever it might be, just shave your head. And there's so many things you can do to look hot. And in fact, I don't know, there was some survey done that he said like 50% of women prefer bald men. I'm like, wow, that's cool, whatever. That's good, you know, good news for men who are balding. But though, you know, going back to my covert narcissist ex-friend, she would not like that. She would have a problem with him going bald. And so, of course, he's hanging on to every last strand of hair that he has on. It sounds so horrible. And but he's very narcissistic, very into his looks, and he thinks he's totally hot. But he's old and he's not fit. Like, he's okay, but there's no muscle there. And you're like, ugh, that's not great. It's kind of soft. For what he's trying to portray. I'm not trying to say like, oh, all people like this are not attractive, but for a narcissist, it's really kind of comical how much better they think they look than they really do. Anyway, so here she is. She's very, one of her characteristics also is that she will put down whoever she is with. She'll put down what's wrong, you know, she'll put them down by or criticizing their weight, by criticizing that they are not good looking, by criticizing that they don't dress well, that by criticizing the car they drive. Yeah, she's very materialistic. So here she is doing that to him, and yet expecting him to apologize to her for not making her feel hot, right? Like, she should be on the arm of a hot guy, like maybe one of his friends. So how come he's not working out? How come he's not trying as hard to be as hot as his friend? Which, of course, he can never be for her. So anyway, you guys, that's the last scenario I wanted to share with you, in the total crazy town that they are in. And he, by the way, at some point will be cheating on her. You know, I mean, actually, yeah, I think he will be. because his wife cheated on him and he had a big issue with that. But I kind of wonder if he was already cheating. I wonder if he was already cheating on it, but I don't know. I can't say. Some people, whether they're a narcissist, some narcissists actually don't cheat, like physically, sexually. They don't. I don't know that he's one of those, though. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just looking at some of your comments here. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, you guys. You also brought up triangulation, and they do that to each other. And that's part of what the vulnerable narcissist will do to the grandiose narcissist. And the grandiose narcissist does that too. One of the tactics they use is triangulation to try to get to weaken the other person, and then put themselves in a stronger position, right? A higher position of power. And that's what they will do with each other and to each other. Well, you guys, we are definitely over the hour. Sometimes I go a half hour past. But I wanted to give you guys a moment to finish up your comments here and let you know that here's the good news. The good news is you are not in that total messed up, psychologically crazy town and losing your mind. But they are doing these crazy mind, what do you call it? I don't know, manipulations on each other. And you don't have to be a part of that anymore. I don't know if you remember what it was like, the whole gaslighting, whole manipulation, mind manipulation. It made you feel like you were going nuts. And even Betty Broderick, this is the hilarious, well, I'm sorry, I don't want to laugh about what happened there, but she describes what it's like to be manipulated by a narcissist, by her husband. And she says she was going crazy. He's trying to convince her. She's like, you're cheating on me. And he's telling her, no, I'm not cheating on you. There's nobody. You're going crazy. So even though you see signs and evidence, they will tell you your eyes are deceiving you. Your mind is deceiving you. Don't trust what you're seeing. You're going crazy. That's the whole crazy making that they do to each other. And yeah, he did that to her. But she then took her revenge on him with her full on, blatant attacks on him. I think she ran her car into his front door, and she left messages all over, on their home phone answering machine. And what else? I think she spray painted stuff on their house, the side of their house as well. I mean, she went full on crazy town. While he did the whole mind manipulation with her, telling her she's crazy, smiling and taunting her. It was just horrible. So the good news is you don't have to deal with that. You don't have to be a part of that. And even if you were married to a narcissist, even though you were hurt by a narcissist, we can still walk away. We're not like the other narcissists, right? We're not the second narcissist in the relationship. Because if there's a second narcissist in the relationship, they don't just walk away. They will engage in full-on war. And that we can avoid. We don't have to do that. We can find peace. We can move on. We can continue to build our world, right? Our life, while they tear theirs down. They tear their own life down, trying to tear the other person down. And we don't do that. We don't have to tear, that's so stupid, right, you guys? So stupid. You don't want to tear down your own life and your own family in order to hurt the narcissist. Doing that, there's no point. You end up like Betty. You do. It takes another narcissist to do that. And you don't want to be like that. And thank God you're not. You're not like that. You are a sane, logical, loving, kind, gentle, passionate, happy, smart, intelligent, hot, good looking person. So you don't need to fall for any of that. You don't need to drag yourself down. You have so much to lose. it's not worth it. It's not worth to give all of that to them. You walk away with so much that you don't realize that you have so much going for you. So you guys, I hope that this has helped you today. I hope that, when you look over there and you think things are going really well, especially when you're thinking, but how is this happening? How is this working out when the new supply is also such a narcissist? Well, I just gave you a few scenarios of what is going on, and real life scenarios of what has gone on with the narcissists that I know. So don't be jealous. Don't wish that you were there. No, be glad that you are not there, you guys. So, just be thankful that you are so blessed to not have either of those gypsy curses on you. And go on with your life. Enjoy the sunshine in your life. Enjoy the good people in your life. So blessings to you guys. I will see you here next week, and have a great time. Have a great week. I hope you do get to go out a little bit, go for a walk, go bike riding, go for a jog, whatever you want to do. Go and enjoy yourself, and invite a friend to come along with you. Blessings to you, and I will see you next week.